Beneath the Paris skies, the man behind the mask. The city of Paris gleamed beneath the soft blush of sunrise, the Seine sparkling as if dusted with diamonds. Inside his luxurious penthouse overlooking the Eiffel Tower, Adrian Devereux stood shirtless, adjusting the cufflinks of a tailored white dress shirt. He was perfection in motion, tall, sculpted, with gray eyes that could pierce through walls and hearts. And he knew it. Adrian had everything a man could want: money, fame, power, and beauty. But the truth was simpler and far darker. He had no one who loved him for him. Everyone loved what he was, not who he was. This fact had hardened him over the years. Women weren't people, they were amusement, playthings. He didn't break hearts. He made them dance to his tune, toyed with their affections, and left them craving more. Tonight's conquests were waiting. By 10 p.m., Adrian was at Le Verre d'Or, one of Paris's most exclusive clubs. The red velvet walls glimmered under crystal chandeliers as champagne flowed like water. He slid through the crowd with a predatory grace, each movement deliberate, each glance calculated. "Adrian," whispered a brunette, her perfume sweet and intoxicating. She draped herself against him, her laugh like wind chimes. "You left me a voicemail. I've been waiting." He smiled, a smile that was charming, effortless, and deadly. "And you answered, see? Patience rewards the persistent." Her laugh caught in her throat when his hand brushed hers, not tenderly, but like he was claiming her attention. Adrian could feel the thrill of the chase pumping through him. He owned the room and the hearts in it. Later, he leaned closer to a striking blonde at the bar, whispering in her ear. She gasped, and he grinned. A masterful play, a night, a flirtation, a name that might or might not matter tomorrow. He toyed with them like a cat with a feather. A laugh here, a lingering touch there, a whispered promise he had no intention of keeping. Women fell like dominoes, hearts tipping toward him, and he left them dangling, smiling coldly as he disappeared into the night. But even as he laughed with them, he was alone. Even as he touched them, he felt nothing. His own reflection haunted him, the empty echo of a boy who'd been told he could buy love but would never earn it. By 2 a.m., Adrian left the club, his luxury car waiting. The city blurred past, neon lights reflecting in his eyes. He could have anyone, but none of them could see him. Back at his penthouse, he poured a glass of scotch and stared at the Eiffel Tower glittering in the distance. The parties, the women, the luxuries, they were all noise. He was tired of the noise. Still, his instincts for play didn't rest. He'd been invited to a high-profile gala tomorrow. It was the perfect hunting ground. He'd meet women who would smile at his name, who would laugh at his jokes, and who would fall for his charm without knowing his heart was a closed room. He practiced his smile in the mirror, perfecting it, knowing that behind those gray eyes, he could be dangerous without ever needing to lift a hand. And yet, and beneath the practiced arrogance, a small, unwelcome thought lingered. What if someone saw me? Not the billionaire, not the playboy, but me, the man no one had met. Fate, as it always does, had a sense of timing. The next morning, Adrian awoke to Paris bathed in golden sunlight. Normally, he would have a morning filled with meetings, personal trainers, and invitations to yacht parties. But something made him restless. He slipped on a plain white shirt, jeans, and sneakers, deliberately not designer, and wandered into the streets of Montmartre, a neighborhood he rarely visited. He wanted something different, something normal. That's when he saw her, Elena Rousseau, moving gracefully behind the counter of a small, crowded cafe. She didn't notice him at first, her hair in a messy bun, apron slightly dusted with flour, eyes focused on cleaning cups. No recognition, no awe, no desire to impress him. Adrian froze. For the first time, he felt something foreign, curiosity without control. He approached. "Bonjour," he said, carefully casual. She looked up, startled, and then smiled politely. "Bonjour, monsieur. What can I get you?" He studied her for a moment. No designer labels, no jewels. Just a woman existing in her own world, unbothered by him, unmoved by wealth. "Something real," he said, almost to himself. She laughed, a soft, warm sound. "We only have coffee, monsieur. Not reality." Adrian chuckled. Real. Not a word he had heard in years, outside of fleeting whispers from women whose hearts he'd toyed with. And just like that, a spark ignited. That evening, back at his penthouse, Adrian sat with his usual entourage. Women laughed, wine flowed, music pulsed. But he wasn't listening. He couldn't stop thinking about the girl in the cafe, the one who didn't know who he was, the one who didn't care. He realized bitterly that no woman at his parties ever made him feel like this. None had ever made him want something that he couldn't have by simply taking it. For the first time, Adrian Devereux felt the stirrings of something dangerous, something that wasn't lust, wasn't conquest, wasn't a game. And he was terrified, because for the first time he realized the rules of his world, the seductive, dangerous games might not work here, and he might lose. Episode 2, The Girl Who Hated Gold. Adrian returned the next day, then the next. Every morning he'd sit in the same corner seat, pretending to read a book but secretly watching her move gracefully behind the counter. Elena noticed, of course. There was something different about him. He wasn't like the other men who tried to impress her with fancy suits or watches. He looked like someone escaping something. "You come here every day," she teased one morning, serving him a croissant. "Do you live around here?" He hesitated. "Not far." She smiled. "You look like someone who travels the world." He tilted his head. "And you look like someone who belongs to it." Her cheeks flushed slightly. "Flattery won't get you extra sugar, monsieur." Days turned into weeks. Adrian learned that she loved the scent of rain, that she played violin in the metro, and that she believed Paris was only beautiful when shared. Elena learned that he was kind, attentive, and strangely quiet when people talked about money. But lies, no matter how sweet, grow heavy. One evening, as the city lights shimmered like gold dust, Adrian found himself walking her home. They talked about dreams and fear. "I just want to find someone who stays," she said softly. "Not someone who leaves when the game's over." Adrian swallowed hard. "And if someone stayed but wasn't who you thought he was? I'd rather a painful truth than a beautiful lie," she whispered. The words hit him like rain. That night he couldn't sleep. He looked at his closet full of tailored suits and wondered if he was still the same man who wore them. He wanted to tell her the truth, but fear won again. Because what if she left like everyone else? Episode 3, When Love Turned to Rain. Autumn in Paris had always been Adriana's favorite season, in a time when the air smelled of roasted chestnuts and the city glowed in shades of amber. But now the same beauty felt like punishment, because every corner of the city whispered her name. Elena. It had been 3 days since she vanished from the cafe, and those 3 days felt like 3 lifetimes. He tried calling her. No answer. He sent flowers, and they were returned untouched. Even his driver said quietly, "She told me to tell you not to follow her again, monsieur." Adrian, the man who could buy anything, suddenly realized how powerless he truly was. That evening, he found himself standing in front of her small apartment building in Montmartre, wearing no suit, no guards, and just the man she once knew. When she appeared, violin case in hand, she froze. Her face was pale from sleepless nights. "Adrian," she said quietly, not with anger but with exhaustion. "Why are you here?" He stepped closer. "Because I can't breathe knowing you hate me." She shook her head. "I don't hate you. I just don't know who you are." "Elena, please," she cut him off. "You lied to me. You let me talk about my hatred for rich men while you sat there pretending. You could have told me the truth." "I wanted to," he said, voice breaking. "Every time I looked at you, I wanted to. But I was scared you'd look at me differently." "And now I am," she whispered. "Differently." He reached out, but she stepped back. "Do you know what hurts the most? It's not that you're rich, it's that you didn't trust me enough to tell me." Her voice cracked. "You made me believe in something real, but you were playing another role." Tears welled in his eyes. "Elena, I stopped playing the day I met you." She looked away, trying to hold her tears. "Maybe, but you still wore a mask." A pause. The city seemed to still. Then she whispered, "Goodbye, Adrian." And she walked away, leaving him under the soft drizzle of Paris rain. That night, Adrian returned to his penthouse, all glass and gold, all empty. He looked out at the Eiffel Tower, flickering in the distance, and for the first time it felt meaningless. He turned off his phone, canceled his meetings, and stared at his reflection. He saw not a billionaire, not a Devereux, just a man who lost the only person who ever saw him clearly. And for the first time, Adrian Devereux cried.
Episode 4, When Love Found the Truth. 2 weeks passed. Paris was colder now, and so was he. Elena spent her days playing violin in the metro again. The sound of her music was softer, sadder. People stopped to listen, not knowing the melody was a story of love and regret. One evening, as she finished a song, a little girl placed a folded note in her violin case instead of money. She opened it. Sometimes love hides to find itself again. Don't stop believing in the song that started it all. No name, just that sentence, and a pressed white rose inside. Her breath caught. Adrian. Her heart told her to ignore it, but her feet carried her to where it all began, the cafe. The lights were dim and it looked different. Outside, the window was filled with handwritten notes from customers. Love is real. Never stop believing. Forgive even when it hurts. And right in the center was a photo of her, taken while she was laughing one morning months ago, with a note pinned beneath it. To the girl who showed me what real means. Beautiful, isn't it? Said a familiar voice behind her. She turned and there he was. No suit, no guards, no arrogance. Just Adrian, standing under the soft drizzle, holding a violin. Her heart trembled. What are you doing here? He smiled faintly. Learning to be honest. Learning to love right. Then he lifted the violin, hers. The same one he had secretly bought back from the pawn shop where she once sold it to pay rent. And he played. The melody was shaky at first, unskilled but pure. It was their song, the tune she used to hum while cleaning tables, the one he'd memorized just by watching her. Tears filled her eyes. You learned that? He nodded, voice trembling. I didn't learn it for perfection. I learned it to speak your language, truth. He lowered the violin. Elena, I don't want to hide anymore. If you hate everything I was, then I'll leave it all. The company, the penthouse, the name, they mean nothing without you. She shook her head through tears. You can't leave your world for me. Then let me build a world where you belong, he whispered. The city lights flickered as thunder rumbled in the distance. And in that silver rain, Adrian fell to his knees before her. I'm sorry for lying. I just wanted to know love before I lost hope in it. But you showed me it's real. You showed me that even a man surrounded by gold could still bleed red. She knelt, touching his face gently. You're a fool. He smiled faintly. For you, always. Elena's tears fell onto his hands. You broke me, Adrian. I'll spend forever fixing it. And before she could answer, he kissed her. Soft at first, then full of everything they'd both been afraid to say. Around them, Paris roared with rain, but neither cared. When they finally pulled apart, she whispered, You still owe me coffee. He laughed through tears. Every morning for the rest of my life. They stood there, wrapped in the sound of rain and violin strings, the Eiffel Tower lighting up behind them like a witness to their second chance. Under the Paris skies, two hearts finally found the truth. Not in wealth, not in lies, but in love stripped bare. Episode 5, Promise. Under the Paris skies, winter melted softly into spring. And Paris bloomed again, much like their love. Months had passed since that night in the rain. And Adrian kept every promise. No lies, no masks, just love that grew quietly, beautifully, like sunlight after a storm. One evening, he led Elena to the Pont des Arts Bridge, where fairy lights shimmered like stars fallen to earth. Do you remember this place? He asked softly. She smiled. It's where you said you wanted something real. He nodded, pulling out a small velvet box. His hands trembled, not from fear, but from the weight of everything she meant to him. I wanted real, and I found you. When he knelt down, the city seemed to pause. Elena Rousseau, he said, eyes glistening. I once had everything and felt nothing. Now I have only you and I feel everything. Will you marry me? Tears spilled down her cheeks as she whispered. Yes, Adrian. 1,000 times, yes. The Eiffel Tower lit up behind them, and the crowd around clapped softly, strangers smiling at the magic unfolding before them. Weeks later, they married in a small garden near Montmartre, surrounded by music, laughter, and spring flowers. No gold, no diamonds, only love. As they kissed under the Paris skies, Elena whispered, So this is forever. Adrian smiled, holding her close. No masks, no lies, just us beneath the Paris skies.